Okay, now we're going to talk about the human race as a whole. The how the Andromedans see the human race. Okay? And I'm doing this for the people at home so that they can all write this down. Okay, again. The human race is unusual in having all of its member races derived from one genetic line. This accounts for the remarkable casual interactions of the great human civilizations. But for better or for worse, human galactic civilizations, even if they compose a single clan, have diverse evolutionary histories. Okay? Each culture is very different in the way that they've evolved. Okay? Not as a species, but as a culture. Okay? I want to be specific to that. And misunderstandings and conflicts have occurred. Traditions exist to minimize the likelihood of misunderstandings and to lessen the negative consequences of any miscommunications that might occur. So they put in place, they were sentient enough to know that they needed to put things in place to try to minimize human versus human war. Okay? In addition, the behavior of individuals does reflect on the species and the clan. Okay, now this is an Andromedan race, an Andromedan human race, sharing this with us. Okay? That individuals, the actions of individuals of those races does reflect on the entire clan. Okay? None are faulted for polite or proper behavior. Informality is always at risk of being misconstrued or miscommunicated. The traditions of human interaction were developed by the ancestors over the ages. When an elder race insists that a new civilization observe traditions, okay, an example, the Andromedans come down, they introduce themselves, they say, okay boys, it's time to go to the show. Okay, it's time to go to the show. What happens is, in the show being the Andromedan Council, we are being asked to be invited to the Andromedan Council. What they will do is they will teach us the tradition, the proper way of introducing yourself, of acting before all these other civilizations. Because you will be misinterpreted if you walk in, hey, old man, what's happening? You know, it'll be completely misunderstood. Okay? Yo, blood, what's up? That a young civilization observe traditions. It helps the young races build a culture that will function well in galactic civilization, as well as help guarantee that this young race will become a virtuous and productive member of the galactic commonwealth. That's exactly Mornay's verbiage. I took it word for word. The galactic commonwealth. Okay? It is important that all humans be as polite as possible. This helps both the young and the old cultures, because many old are socio-biologically dependent on ritual. They have become so conditioned that this is just the way you do it. And their civilizations, their traditions are so deeply embedded that they're not going to change. Okay? We have that same situation here on our planet. We do. And can be psychologically disturbed by informal and rude behavior. That's what he says. If the occasion calls for it, apologize, and then speak only when spoken to. Never touch a fellow elder race person unless you are specifically asked to. Now, that leads me to something that I was taught, which I did when I was brought on board, and I met other races. And this is what the Andromedans do when they meet another race, okay? And I was taught to teach this to everyone here, which I've done, so I'm going to do it again. When you have a contact and you're standing before an extraterrestrial or extraterrestrials, you stand, yourself square, you bow, never taking your eyes off of them, and you say, "It is the manner and custom when entering my space that permission be asked." You say it very clearly, because what you are doing is you are declaring your sovereignty and you are declaring your space. All right? Because we are not that well thought of. So it's important to do something like this. You got 10 seconds to make a good first impression. It is the manner and custom when entering my space that permission be asked.
Is that done verbally or?
Yes, well, we would have to. We would have to do it verbally. They would probably respond telepathically.
And if we didn't say that?
There's always the possibility that your space will be violated.
Violate them probably.
Well, the Greys would. The Dows would, absolutely. Spoken to. Most human galactic races have 3 languages. And these difference markers are formal, informal, and differential. Now, the differential apparently is what's used in a lot of politics, galactic politics, that particular language. The formal is when you are addressing your own race, like State of the Union. It's also when you are talking to elders. Okay, the informal marker is not used ever in public. The formal marker is always used in public, because you always want to regard your partner in conversation as worthy of respect. The prestige of a mature race is always subject to debate. The first measure of the general rule of prestige is, number 1, the age of the race. Okay? The age of the race. The second index is the race's lineage. Okay, it all comes back to genetics. The third index is the number and size of the race, or the clan, or the tribe. Okay? In standard introductions, always include identification by full name, species name, any irrelevant titles, and your home planetary system.
Did you say we're Earth, Terra 3?
Earth, Terra 3. Or Sol, S-O-L, Terra 3. Because our star is known as Sol. We are Terra, which is third planet. Okay? Third rock from the sun. Now, if you were in Mars, you would say Sol, Terra 4.